Mise en scene can be described as the arrangement of props, settings, makeup, lighting, essentially everything in the frame that tells the story, which is why mise en scene is also known as telling the story. In the movie Bicycle Thieves, an Italian neo-realism film about a poor working-class man, Antonio Ricci, trying to recover his stolen bicycle, the director, Vittorio De Sica, dressed the main cast in very old, broken and plain-looking clothing. The use of this mise-en-scene tells the viewer that most of the cast are people who aren't wealthy and have to work very hard to survive. The makeup artist would have also made the cast look as if they had dirty faces, like chimney sweepers or exploited mechanics. This use of mise-en-scene helps the viewers understand that the characters go through a lot every day, because it symbolizes that they are often subjected to manual or cheap labor to earn money. At the time in Rome, everybody rode bicycles as a means of transport. However, it also feels as if Vittorio placed cyclists in the shot to hint at our sympathetic emotions towards Antonio. The use of many cyclists also makes the viewer think that Antonio should just steal a bike, much like the saying, "Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink." Jeep trucks and soldiers are commonly seen throughout the film. This use of mise-en-scene tells us that the movie was filmed to be set during the time of war, when times were tough for citizens. Often seen in Italian neo-realism films, directors would often use non-professional actors or real-life characters to act the parts. This gave the films a more authentic look and feel, thus called neo-realism. For example, in Bicycle Thieves, Vittorio used Lamberto Maggiorani to play the part of Antonio Ricci. At the time, Maggiorani was a factory worker and a non-professional actor. Italian neo-realism filmmakers most of the time would film on location, which means that their mise-en-scene was already on location, which both saved time and a lot of money, but also contributed to the film's realistic feel. In the scene just after Antonio slaps his son, Bruno, Antonio's face suddenly changes. It was almost as if Antonio just realized that this whole ordeal is bringing out the bad side, making him more like the thief. At this point in the film, we also begin to see Antonio and Bruno go from constantly being very close to one another, both emotionally and physically, to being separated from one another. Vittorio then cuts to a scene of Bruno in tears, and then later in the scene he cuts to Antonio reacting frantically to a yelp of grief. This plants the seed in the viewer's head that Bruno has possibly jumped off the bridge because he was so upset. This is a great setup and payoff, and an excellent form of mise-en-scene. Mise-en-scene is arguably one of the most important elements in movie making, and it plays a massive role in the industry. And although there isn't a huge amount of mise-en-scene that goes into realism films, without it, movies just wouldn't be the same.